Qatar has decided to return its ambassador to Iran. This comes more than 20 months after he was recalled in protest over the ransacking of Saudi Arabia's mission in the country. The Qatari decision comes amidst a long-running row now between Doha and her fellow Gulf Cooperation Council members, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates. Now, together with Egypt, they accuse Qatar of supporting terrorism, but those are charges that Doha has repeatedly denied. Let's get the latest now on exactly what's going on in that part of the world. Yasser Hakim joins us live from Mecca in Saudi Arabia. Yasser, good to see you. In sending its ambassador back to Tehran, it does seem that Qatar is doubling down on its ties to that state. Has there been any formal reaction from the Saudi-led alliance?
Yes, and it was a reaction of disappointment and sometimes anger from officials. They're saying that Qatar should have not moved towards Iran closer. They know the threat that Iran poses to the Gulf region. Iran has previously announced several times in the last 2 decades that the Gulf region is part of Iran, and that also Bahrain and the United Arab Emirates have long-term issues with Iran. Bahrain accuses Iran of trying to cause chaos within the Bahraini population, which is partly Shiite. So Iran is trying to move those Shiites by causing upsets, Iran being a Shiite country. Also, there are border issues and islands that United Arab Emirates says Iran has taken over or are owned by United Arab Emirates, and Iran has occupied these, illegally occupied these islands. So there is a lot of anger towards this move. They were thinking, or they're saying, we thought that doing what we did, we will convince Qatar to change its stance and come closer to our fold rather than move away further to Iran.
Indeed. So roughly 40% of Qatar's food imports used to come in with through the land border with Saudi Arabia, but that land route has been blocked for months now. Has Qatar managed to find another route to fully substitute those imports through different routes coming into the country?
Yes, Qatar quickly started to look for alternatives. There are alternatives, but they're more expensive alternatives. You've got Iran, which has pledged 100 tons of food every month to Qatar. And then you've got Turkey, which has also stood firm beside Qatar, providing Qatar with all its basic needs, but at a higher cost, because obviously it cannot go through the sea. It has to go through air freight, which is more expensive, and obviously would need more time and more flights. You have also the Asian countries, which can have a direct route to Qatar, India, Japan, Singapore. Several countries in Asia have been sending goods to Qatar, but again, it's all through planes. A famous shot or video that went viral in the region was a video of cattle being boarded off an aeroplane, cattle going to Qatar, huge numbers just going down from an aeroplane into Qatar, which went viral here because it's not a normal scene. It's usually huge sums of cattle are taken through ship. So there is the alternative. On a long term, it's very expensive, very costly, but for now, Qatar, with its huge reserves, can afford to take this step.
Right, so Qatar is also due to be hosting the World Cup in 2022. How has this blockade affected preparations for the event?
For now, Qatar says it doesn't. There's a budget put forth for this event. It's saying everything is going on schedule. It's a bit more costly now, also because products such as steel, iron, cement are costing more because they're coming obviously through different routes. But again, Qatar is trying to send messages that it's on track. The first stadium, the main stadium, which will host the opening and the final, is done, it's finished, it's inaugurated last May. So they're trying to send the message that there's no problems, that we're continuing. They've just allowed 140,000 new workers from the Philippines to get working permits to go and help out or work on the construction of the World Cup. Again, it's all about time. Who has the longer stamina? Who has the more stamina? Who can take this for a longer time. United Arab Emirates said this could take years. Will Qatar be able to go on for years with this blockade?
Indeed, that is the million-dollar question, or rather the billion-dollar question in this particular instance. Thank you for that. That's Yasser Hakim there. Normally he's in Cairo. This time around, though, he's usually in Mecca.